Introduction. It was my first month as a freshman, and like most college kids, I was eager to dive into the party scene. That weekend, there was a huge party off campus, one of those wild, everyone is there kind of nights. I went with a couple of friends, and before long, I'd had more than my share of drinks. The music was loud, the air thick with excitement, and I was feeling tipsy, maybe even a little more than tipsy. That's when I saw her. She stood out in the crowd, dark hair, piercing eyes, an almost ethereal look. She was beautiful in a way that felt different. We locked eyes, and before I knew it, we were talking, laughing, and getting closer. The night was a blur, and before I could make sense of anything, she suggested we go somewhere quieter, somewhere more private. We ended up in the woods near the party. It was a warm night, and the trees stretched high above us, casting shadows from the moonlight. We spent the rest of the night there, just the two of us. It felt amazing, almost surreal, like something out of a dream. But when I woke up the next morning, she was gone. Rising tension. At first, I thought nothing of it. People leave, and maybe she had somewhere to be. I made my way back to campus, my head still foggy from the drinks and the events of the night. But as I passed the main bulletin board near the entrance, something stopped me dead in my tracks. There, pinned to the board, was a missing person notice. It was for a girl named Emily Turner, a student who had died 5 years ago in an accident out in those very woods. And she looked exactly like the girl I had been with the night before. My stomach churned as I stared at the photo. It was impossible. It had to be some kind of weird coincidence, right? I tried to brush it off, convince myself that maybe the alcohol had clouded my memory or that I was just imagining things. But I couldn't shake the unease that settled deep in my chest. Something wasn't right. Later that day, I told my friend Ryan about it. I expected him to laugh it off, maybe tell me I was just overthinking it. But instead, his face went pale. "Dude," he said, lowering his voice, "I've heard this before. There's a story on campus about guys who've met her. The same thing happens, they see her at a party, go into the woods with her, and then a month later, they're dead." Climax. My blood ran cold. "What are you talking about?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Ryan leaned in closer. "It happened to a senior last year. Same thing, he met a girl at a party, she took him into the woods, and the next day she was gone. A few weeks later, they found him dead in his dorm. Heart failure, they said, but no one really knows what happened." I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. "And you're saying it's happened before?" He nodded. "It's some kind of curse or something. Every guy who's been with her, who's seen her, dies a month later. It's like she's, I don't know, cursed to take people with her or something." I tried to laugh it off, tried to tell myself it was just some stupid campus ghost story, but deep down, I couldn't shake the fear that had lodged itself inside me. The more I thought about it, the more it made sense. The strange way she seemed to appear out of nowhere, how perfect the night had felt, almost too perfect, and now the missing girl poster that matched her face exactly. Ending/twist, for the next few days, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face, heard her laugh, felt the cold air of the woods pressing in around me. My dreams were haunted by flickering images of her dark hair blowing in the wind, her eyes, once captivating, now hollow and distant. And always, there was the sense that she was watching me, waiting for me. A week passed. Then 2. And every day, the fear grew worse. I could feel something looming over me, something I couldn't explain. My friends noticed I wasn't myself anymore. I was jumpy, paranoid, barely sleeping. I kept telling myself it was just a story, just a coincidence, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. The 3rd week came, and by then, I was a wreck. Every night, I lay awake, counting the days. I couldn't shake the feeling that my time was running out. The story Ryan had told me, the deaths, the curse, it all played on a loop in my head. And now, here I am, a month later. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can feel it, something's coming for me. I haven't slept in days, afraid that if I do, I won't wake up. Every creak of the floor, every shadow in the corner of my room feels like a sign, like she's here, waiting for the right moment. I don't know if I'll survive the night. But if I end up like those other guys, at least you'll know my story. Maybe you'll believe me. Maybe you won't. But one thing's for sure, whatever happened in those woods that night wasn't normal. And now, I think it's too late.